Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of the Fandom Unlimited Podcast, where we talk fandom without limits. This is going to be our new one-on-one sit-down style show. And of course, we didn't have to look very far to find the first person willing to sit in the hot seat on this show. So tonight, the guest is, as evidenced by the guy in the window right up here, is Shawn. Hope you guys enjoy it. All right, guys. Of course, I'm Johnny V. Tonight, I'm joined by founder and one of the main primary hosts on all things Fandom Empire, Shawn. Normally, we spend some time giving a rundown of who you are, your credentials, why you're here, all those kind of things. But I think if they're watching anything on Fandom Empire, they already know who you are. So we'll save that, and we'll start with thanks for joining us.
I'm nobody. in the large scope of things, I'm nobody.
However, in this little slice of paradise that we've crafted, you're not. And if people are here, they probably know who you are already. So, is there anything you want to say to the lovely viewers watching this before we get started with the?
Well, I mean, I feel naked right now, figuratively speaking, because
I'm glad it's not literally speaking.
It's on a. We're on, a channel I started and run. Do most of the legwork for. And I'm not hosting, and it's not my job to interact with the audience, and I'm kind of on the hot seat. So I know some of the things we're talking about tonight, so I'm anxious to talk about a lot of those with everybody in the audience. But like off the top, I just want to say that the whole purpose of this show, which does not have a set date, so like the next time you see this show, it could be, I don't know. It could be.
It could be next week. It could be next month.
It could be 3 weeks from now. But this particular show is going to be meant for one-on-one sit-down interviews. No time limit on it, really. We're on a time limit tonight, but like, if Johnny sits down one-on-one with Jared and they start talking wrestling, I mean, it might be a 17-hour stream. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that for sure.
We could definitely do that one day.
I should also point out, and all the people that don't like the channel, who are currently in the chat thinking they're smart and they're not, and you never are because you guys are really easy to spot. This show.
Damn, I thought Will Smith was actually in the chat tonight.
Damn it! This show, the Fandom Unlimited Podcast, will be available for everybody. We already have a few guests lined up, some pretty notable people in the horror community, so be on the lookout for that. But it is going to be a show meant for YouTube members. We're going to activate the YouTube members thing on our page. I don't know what the minimum. We're not going to charge a bunch or anything like that, and you'll be able to see it for free. But if you want to interact with certain guests we get on, which will include some people from the Halloween franchise actual thing, rather than people spending money on super chats or whatever, the people that are members of the channel will not have to spend any extra additional money, and they'll be able to ask all these questions to the multiple people we interview a month, and it'll be fun. A good way of doing it. And the people that can't afford to do so, they can just watch and hate and not have their comments come through. I know we're looking at you, chat. Those two names there that are clearly who you are. Well, we'll wait till you show yourselves, but anyway.
We will say this though, those of you who are long-term viewers, we do know we're not going to go out of our way to get your questions, but if we find time at the end of the show, we will hopefully ask any questions that you guys have put in throughout the course, but there's no guarantees on that.
I never agreed to open Q&A.
I said if we have time.
I'm already not liking this.
It's a time delineated thing. We're not, this isn't going to go forever. This isn't a regular Fandom Empire live Tuesday night where we'll, ask all the questions all the time. If we have time at the end with the guests, whomever they are, in whatever time limit they've given us, if we have that available time, we will use it for your questions. But if we don't, oh well. Unless you remember.
We'll start off with one already, since Melissa's a longtime supporter of the channel. Ben, you got to be talking about Ben Hart.
I don't think there's anybody else that could fit that criteria for anyone who's ever appeared on this channel. So
Ben the Caveman Hart.
we're gonna jump in here. We're gonna start with the questions.
Can we stall? More?
Nope, no more stalling. We've done enough stalling. Now it's time to get right into the. We're gonna start off with some hard stuff.
Oh.
We're gonna start off with some personal stuff because that's who we are. We like to, wear ourselves on our sleeves around these parts. We're gonna start off. You've been pretty open with your struggles with mental health, with us in the community, with us on the channel, with the staff and everybody. So what? Open floor, address that however you choose to.
Well, I mean, I'm back on the channel, so if improvements and steps weren't made, then I wouldn't be here yet. And you know what? I've already seen enough of this. So, but yeah, no, I wouldn't be here yet. So, some people will dispute this. I don't know if any of us are ever perfectly good. It's so cliche, especially, not to turn this into a sexist thing, but a lot of men do this. Someone will ask them if they're all right. Tommy, you watching this? Or
Clearly,
doing this?
Beat me by like half a second.
Oh, you did it? Okay,
Yeah.
I won't do it. Anyways, yeah, they'll be here, Melissa. In due time, we'll talk about them. But no, I just look. I think it's so cliche to say, yeah, I'm fine, and I don't know if any of us are ever perfectly fine, but I'm in a better place now than I was a couple months ago. There are days still though that suck, but still much more positive mind frame than I was. So
that's fantastic. We all go through our bouts, and you've been honest and open about them, and we all appreciate that. I mean, I can say for myself that I've known you forever at this point in a day, and it's good to hear the good. Let's move on to the next question. Same sort of vein, but not exactly the same. Obviously, you've dealt with some not good things physically. How you doing physically? Emotionally, we know how you're at, but how's the body? We know how the mind is.
Well, some weight has come off, so that's a plus. Over the last couple of weeks, I've probably put a little bit back on. I would love to sit here and say that, yeah, I'm great, but I'm not, and that's just kind of where it is right now. But there are people that are far worse off than me, and I'm here, and I'm ready to talk about whatever you want. And I look, you know some of the physical medical issues I have, so sometimes there's just nothing you can do to be better. You can just slow it down from getting worse quicker, if that makes any sense. So, and that's kind of where I'm at. So,
all right, let's we've dealt with kind of the not so good. Let's move to the good stuff. You've got a pretty fair sized family going on over there. How's the family doing?
Great. It's Jensen's a menace.
They say you reap what you sow, pal.
He's the perfect blend of he's the perfect blend of Jade and I, and it's life is good, and I hope I can talk more soon about how good it is. But yeah.
All right, we've got some slots in here for me to add my own questions from the stuff that the staff has prepared. That you know some of them, you don't know all of them. This one's for me. This one's for you and me. You'll understand it. I'll understand it. But no, anyone who hasn't known us as long as we've known each other, has he developed his own version of Her Karana yet?
I mean, judging by my living room 2 nights ago, it certainly looked like it. So yeah, I'd say he's getting there. He's pretty good at, randomly taking baby shark toys and then grabbing some wrestlers and some Hot Wheels and some monster trucks and, throwing some Paw Patrol in there. And he's got it. He's got it down pat. He knows how to mix it all together.
It's good stuff. Let's move into the channel, the Fandom Empire.
Wait, that channel that nobody watches?
Yeah, that nobody watches.
Channel that gets no views, but we feel the need to still come here anyways.
I know, we're crazy. We're masochists. What are we doing? I guess this one's, open-ended, but do you feel like you've achieved everything you've wanted to so far with Fandom Empire?
Dude, didn't you hear? We've never gotten anything right ever, and we're wrong, and we rob people, and it's we're just horrible, horrible human beings. No, hey, look. Star Wars Wastelands ended. Coming back, by the way. So Star Wars Wastelands ended. Had an opportunity to go do something else. Started off as Fandom Cantina. Had not that they were bad people, but the wrong people, the wrong blend of people. It didn't really work out. And then had a chance to go check out Halloween 2018 at TIFF, and it kind of changed everything. That was sort of the launching pad of the channel, and we covered Halloween kills. Those that actually pay attention to the shit that comes out of our mouths know that we were about as accurate as we possibly could have been on that movie, but we get shit wrong. Honestly, there's no real set goals anymore. I think when, obviously I want the channel to continue and we'll be doing stuff. And yes, Halloween's going to end and some people won't find their way back here nearly as much anymore. But there's so much good fandom content coming out that I'm looking forward to covering it all. I can't wait till there's a new Nightmare movie eventually. That'll be a ton of content.
All right, let's move on to the next question. You kind of touched on it there, but what's next for Fandom Empire?
Well, we have this fun show here, which is enjoyable. Good for one-on-ones. This is why this show, when we have guests on, won't be interrupted by people with sad existences that have nothing better to do with their time. This is why it'll be a members chat only. Now, if they want to pay us to do that, then hey, knock themselves out. But honestly, we have a pretty solid Patreon program that's going pretty well. Don't have many complaints over there. There's the Game of Thrones show, which we already have, I think, 2 episodes recorded of. So that's in the works. We have 31 the Halloween podcast. Mike and I have now recorded a couple episodes of that. Lots of wrestling coming up, too, in the near future. So we'll be talking about wrestling a bunch on the shows. So, yeah. So...
All right. Some love for you in the chat as always. Super chat from Joel. It's crime we aren't bigger.
Oh, let me pull that up. I didn't see that on my end.
We're his favorite. Much love. We appreciate you, Joel.
Hey, look. to grow a channel requires content often, you know, and I don't have a ton of free time, you know. I don't have, endless amounts of free time to go and stalk other people's YouTube channels and Facebook pages. And I have a life and I have a family. So that and work. And there's not a whole lot of free time out there. But I'm telling you, when you do your own YouTube channel, the more content you put out, the more people will see it. Whether they're big numbers or small numbers, that's how your channel grows, by continue to put more out there. So
boil that down. We're happy and we're having fun.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna plug this one in for myself here. There's been a lot of times we've had projects that kind of get discussed or talked about that never quite roll out. So have there been any that you hope to revisit in the near future?
Sorry, repeat the question. I was having fun with the people with no lives.
The idea is that we've sort of percolated behind the scenes that just didn't quite make it to the main stage. Are there any that you want to revisit?
I mean, Tommy will roll his eyes when I say this, but I will forever want to do something episodic with Supernatural. We had Supernatural Revisited planned. Free time's a big thing, and not having a whole lot of it, hence why we don't come on here till 9:00 at night. But yeah, no, that would be one thing in particular for sure, in terms of revisiting them anyway.
All right, let's move on to the next category. Haddonfield Vanished. It's a topic that comes up frequently in both the positive and the negative from a certain group of people. So let's start with, you started pre-production now a little over 2 years ago. Obviously, the world kind of stood up and said, "Hello, stop." But what's going on with it?
This movie right here that apparently never got filmed, but somehow I have a still from the movie. Interesting.
That staff has seen actual footage of.
Right? Oh man!
Just because you guys haven't seen it doesn't mean we haven't seen parts of it.
Yeah, I'm not Axl Rose. I'm not going to go that far. This is what I would say, and to the trolls that have nothing better to do, I'm going to talk to you as a normal human being. You should try it, once in a while. You might get somewhere. If I could go back, this is unlimited, raw, gonna take some heat from this from some people. If I could go back and not do the movie, having a crystal ball to see what the next 2 years would hold, then obviously I wouldn't do it. We started pre-production on that, literally. And I mean really pre-production. We hadn't even filmed our little Indiegogo teaser. Like a week before the pandemic hit. And things started to get shut down up in our neck of the woods, in the Toronto area. Obviously, it was never intended to take this long. There are Indiegogo campaigns, and people should really look into the rules for this, that you can run, that if you do not hit your goal, which technically speaking we didn't, because of a technicality, you can still use the funds in order to put towards a project or some preview of a project or whatever. And that's what we selected. So we've had our bases covered from the fucking start. But people will, you know how it works, man. People will fucking, you get one person that doesn't like you, and then, him and his little clique of high school, buddies, they gotta, just keep adding on to it. So yeah. Hang on. Let's read this. Hang on. Let's can we read? It's in your question. It has to do with it. Do you mind if we pull up a troll question?
Yeah, I mean, you're controlling the board, not me.
You lied and pocketed the money. Just admit it. Dave made a fan film during the pandemic. So did many others. You're basically admitting to fabricating a movie and swindling people for money. Wow. No, not even remotely close to what I said. And I'm looking at the folder right here for the movie. So you keep reaching because it seems to be all you're good at. But yeah, no, I mean, I wish the movie would have went smoother. The first shoot, to be honest, did not go great. There was some really awesome shit that happened, and then there was some not so awesome shit that happened that really tightened things up. And you know, the guy brings up Dave too. Let's be clear, Dave doesn't give a rat's ass about these fucking idiots. I know because I know Dave. But anyway, I wish it would have went smoother, and that at the end of the day kind of falls on me. You know, I'm the one that put the project together. I'm the one that will be releasing it. But then we, you know, you know how tight it was up here, the pandemic and yeah, so
Shut everything down hard and fast.
Yeah, and the people that don't live up here have like, and like to compare us to Dave and Bruce, who I think they raised almost $100,000 or something like that. For their film, not to mention in their background, know what they're doing. Professional staff. Our film was never going to be anything close to his or Braden Timmons or anyone else's, and we made that clear right off the get-go. I remember talking about it with Drum Dums, Lee McCoy, right here on the channel. But the movie is going to come, and in a trailer probably sooner than you think. But it's you know.
So I guess that'll move us on to the next question. Peek behind the curtain for those people who are still with us that, you know, actually care about this project, and we know there are, you know, a bunch. Do you have a release date in mind, something you're shooting for?
There is a date that I'm definitely shooting for, and I'm not going to say it on here.
Fair enough. All right, let's sort of sideways lateral in a much bigger way, and let's talk about the franchise that helped make this channel what it is. We'll talk Halloween for a little bit here, and obviously, you know, Halloween Kills is sort of what started the snowball with Fandom Empire in the fallout of 2018. What was it like for you? You know, we have experience with this; we've done it before, but what was it like for you covering a horror movie for, you know, nearly 2 years? We've done it with Star Wars, but that's a completely different animal. What's it like, you know, doing a horror movie for 2 years nonstop?
Exhausting. On one front, I remember the day that I found out that it was getting backed up. Had an idea about it. Probably, I think there's a few content creators that had an idea about it about half an hour before it went public or so. But you never really know. And then when it goes public, it was pretty heartbreaking. And I went on air not much longer from that point and had to be kind of positive about it. And I think we did a good job at turning content around over the last year. And you know, we're not a huge channel. We're a small channel, and people still get enjoyment out of us. I mean, hey, we just did a video. I think it did 15,000 views or something. So, I mean, some people like what we're doing, and there's those that don't. Oh, well.
All right, so Halloween Kills has come and gone. We talked about it endlessly. So, did it live up to your expectations?
Oh, that's a tough one. Michael Myers lived up to my expectations in the film. I got everything I wanted out of Michael Myers. But I think you'll remember me, you know, trying to warn people ahead of time that, hey, if you want to see Michael Myers kill a lot of fucking people, you're going to love this movie. But it also might mean that the movie is not the best laid out movie ever, you know? The pacing has some issues at times, and there's some cringy things in there. I'm going to say it didn't meet expectations for me. And one of the reasons for that simply, man, is because, you know, first you hear leaks and you get some spoilers. And those sources we apparently don't have. And then you see the script leak, and then you see the test screening leak, and it all starts to add up. So,
all right. Halloween Ends obviously coming up very soon in the near future. Things seem to be a lot quieter this time around. What do you account that for?
Man, I won't go to war, but I would argue against anybody debating this. Is just the information is way harder to come by this time around. We had an idea it would be. That's generally what happens. Things usually get tighter. If one movie had a ton of leaks, chances are the next one will be tighter lipped. However, I'll say this: I think enough of the movie is out there that if you've been doing your due diligence and putting together the pieces that we've put out on our Patreon or even on the YouTube channel, along with official things that have been revealed and some of the things other reliable YouTube channels have been revealing, there's a movie here that is, in my opinion, you have most of the main pieces, but there's not a lot of depth to them yet. That said, Larry David. Now, with that said, or now having said that, now I get to insult everybody. No, having said that, I was very critical of some of the things I heard about this movie early on, but I can tell you right now, if you're someone that just loves the idea of watching a random Halloween movie, you put on Halloween 5 one night, put on Halloween 6 one night, maybe one night it's 4. Or even Halloween 2, like the 81 version. I think Halloween Ends will feel more like those traditional Halloween movies than either of the last 2 Halloween movies have felt like. I don't think 2018's far off, if I'm being honest, but this movie is being pieced together more traditionally, it feels like. So, but the information is harder to come by, I stand by everything we put out on Patreon. The things that we're unsure about, we're pretty upfront. So, yeah.
All right. Do you think that Ends is going to live up to your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, it almost can't, because I have very low expectations for it, right? Like, so it almost can't miss. It would have to be really bad. My bar is really low. It really is. And I'm trying to not let some of the more recent things that have come out raise my bar too much, because I would like to go into it surprised. But then it's all subjective, man. You know how it is. Like, you didn't like Logan. I mean, you told me, I loved Logan. I think Logan's one of the best comic book movies of all time. So, what I think doesn't mean shit to anybody else, and it shouldn't, well, maybe I don't want to go that far. I still want some people to watch. But don't let someone else's opinion on something form your own. You should be able to form your own opinion of it. And for me, I think Halloween Ends has a shot to be pretty decent. But again, if it's terrible, I won't be surprised.
Fair enough. Obviously, once we get past Halloween Ends, that's it. For Halloween content that we're aware of right now.
They're ending the franchise. We're never going to see Michael Myers again.
Who knows? As far as we know, yes. Right now, that's true. But whether or not that stays true, who knows? We don't have a crystal ball to see that. But looking into that crystal ball anyway, Halloween has been sort of at the core of this channel. What are we going to fill that hole with once Halloween Ends comes and goes?
I mean, Halloween content is never going to leave this channel. So I'm going to tell everybody that right now. So when the Halloween content starts to dry up for the people that don't want to cover it anymore because, it's not in the news anymore, we will still be doing Halloween content here at the channel. Lampkin Lane over on Patreon is not going anywhere. There are 2 wonderfully written books, Taking Shape and Taking Shape 2, that there's so much content to cover from it. And then just going back through the past movies. And I'm telling you, it's not imminent, but people that think that Halloween is just going to disappear for another decade or whatever, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So, our boy Ty says House of the Dragon. Fucking right. Can't wait for that. And it sounds like, I think we're going to talk about this a little tomorrow night, but Johnny, I think you predicted it right. I think we're getting an August premiere. It sounds like it might be August the 14th.
I don't like to toot my own horn, but toot toot. All right. Time for some more of my infamous. Nope. Nah. I don't know how to say this without sounding creepy, so I'm just not gonna say it.
I'm gonna really quickly.
When are we gonna get a Marvel show on the channel?
Marvel show. Okay, so I'll answer both of these back to back. I did see the Joker scene and I loved it, and it's going to be a topic tomorrow night on the show. And it was really, really good. I kind of understand why they took it out, but I would have left it in if I were them. But I'm a fanboy. So, when are we going to get a Marvel show on the channel? When is Marvel going to put out a good product again? Well, when's that going to happen? But now he's just attacking Canada. And he just told me to go kill myself. Wow, that's not very nice.
Oh, we got the double hide. We don't get that very often.
You're in. Serious note. Obviously their mental health and just their state of mind is not great. And as a responsible adult, I hope they get the help they need. And I do mean that. I don't know why they hate us so much. I guess I just rubbed them the wrong way. And they have a thing for sending Tommy and I and even Kieran pictures of
that happens a lot in the thing. I noticed.
To our face, and it's like,
at least make new photoshops. Like it's not funny. Original stuff.
Right? What's wrong with the penis? Penis. How is that insulting?
At least give us photoshops we're gonna laugh at.
It's not 1970. Just a thought.
It's not enough hair in the photos to be.
You're dealing with young, immature turds when that's all they have. I've dealt with mature turds like this, and at least I can say that the way that they dealt with it was done with some class and dignity, which these guys have none of. So,
all right.
And no, in terms of I don't know. If there's a Marvel show on the channel, it won't be me doing it. I'm not saying it can't be anybody else that does it, but I think we just have a lot of movies coming out that we just need to do a better job of covering, doing trailer reactions, doing a preview for a movie, and making just a better commitment as a people that really want to see certain movies, make sure they see it opening weekend so we can cover it on the following Tuesday. So, and I think we're in a better place, at least up here in Canada, to be able to do that than we were this time last year. So,
absolutely. We make jokes about it, every now and again, but sports. Why don't we talk more sports?
Toronto Freddy said you guys could do coverage of Peacemaker.
I need to sit down and watch that. I keep putting it off. I keep getting ready to start it.
With Zachary, and I was actually.
I'm sorry, but the fact Zachary is old enough to watch Peacemaker still boggles my mind.
I mean, I'm old, and I feel like it this week. So, but no, I mean, yeah, I would totally be down for. I think one thing we'd like to do is just cover series more. Even if it's just like a Fandom Empire live episode where, for example, I haven't seen any of it yet, but like just the whole episode, we talk about Witcher season 2 or something, stuff like that. And I think you're going to see a lot of variety in that for sure. So yeah.
All right, let's move into more of the pull the curtain back on the Fandom Empire channel and staff and members of the community and shows that we have coming in the future. But when we first started rolling and got everything going, there was a guy that was pretty prominent, in the chat, and that was Frank Riker. And people have noticed that he has disappeared. Is no longer around. So where's he been? What's the story there?
Frank started the Slaughtered Lamb movie podcast with I don't know how to tell which one's fake you though. Here's the problem. Wait till they send a dumb message, I guess. Nothing to my knowledge. I don't know. I haven't spoke with Frank in a long time. They're busy though. Like those guys are putting out content, I think 3 or 4 days a week. And now they got a Patreon too. So if you like those guys and you can afford it, definitely go check them out. They're I still listen, not to everything. I pick and choose, you know. They just did a couple of Jaws episodes. I tuned into some of them, not live, but and they're putting out really fucking good content. So I imagine they're busy, and maybe we're just not for Frank. I honestly don't know, but I have no bad things to say about him. So.
Well, that's original. All right, let's move one that touches me in my happy places. We've been doing a lot more wrestling, you know, on Fandom Empire Live. Are we going to expand on that?
Wow, you're the 4th or 5th person to ask me that recently. I
haven't put them up to it.
Here's my thing. Is basically all I want to talk about is AEW. There's some stuff outside of AEW that we're willing to talk about. But if you want to get like deep into like really deep stuff, then maybe that's something for Johnny. And Frank has taken a break from all social media, but his absence extends way before that. Yeah, no, I think that I've totally lost my train of thought. I'm not going to lie. Where was I?
Wrestling.
I mean, we're talking wrestling tomorrow night. You don't even know it yet. Actually, we're playing a wrestling game tomorrow night, and you don't know it yet.
It's WrestleMania week, so are we doing the thing that our boys used to do? Is that what we're doing?
Play a game tomorrow night to end the show.
Are we playing a game made famous by our friends Tim and Sid?
Not quite. No, I don't. I think there's limitations to like. We could do something like that over on Patreon, where the stream's not monetized or anything, and get away with it. It would be basically impossible to get away with it now. So, but yet, like, we're going to cover more wrestling. We are, but it's primarily going to be AEW, and anything further than that, then it's going to take some time. Like, I'll be honest, I don't intend to talk a whole lot about WrestleMania the following week. Obviously, I want another Cody Rhodes thing, and I don't think the Stone Cold thing's going to turn into a match out of nowhere, but maybe it will. I don't know. So, but yeah, I'm just focused on AEW, man. That's where my wrestling love is. But again, those that are looking for more, I'm sure Johnny and Jer just have a mountain of knowledge that there's not enough time in the day to divulge everything.
Okay, read that weird. All right. We announced last week or the week before, Star Wars Wastelands is coming out again, bringing it back out from the
I've heard
the mothballs. I have too. So the question is, why now?
Well, I mean, I think you kind of know the answer to this already, and I never really felt comfortable going back with the name without all three of us there. But as time has gone, Mondo has made it basically exceptionally clear that he has no interest in doing a continuous Star Wars podcast. And at the same time, it didn't feel right. I know people say it's just a name or whatever, but whenever I did any other Star Wars content, it just felt wrong not having Star Wars Wastelands attached to it, and even doing the show in a similar format to how it used to be, although much shorter. It's just the right time for it, and Mondo's okay with it, and Mondo will pop in once in a blue moon. But yeah, no, I like Kenobi, Andor, Ahsoka, the Star Wars friggin' oh my god, what's that show called that Bish loves? Stranger Things, the Star Wars style Stranger Things show. That's almost getting ready to film. So, Ty Nelson says Land, although I believe that's on the back burner and may not happen at all now, but we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, it's time. I'm ready to talk Star Wars on a weekly basis again. It's been a while, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be news. We might just spend a week talking about, how many times I used to whoop Johnny at Battlefront 2, but
I don't know. Again, you're living in an alternate reality there, pal.
Some days I wish I was.
Some days I know you are when you say things like you used to whip my butt at Battlefield.
Battlefront, probably too,
yeah.
But, yeah.
I can't help it. My battles get very confused. There's so many battles. All right. We're going to move on to what is almost essentially the last portion of the Fandom Unlimited podcast, and that is, word and name associations. I'm going to say some names and, take a little time and give us some thoughts on the individual. You don't have to be nice, but, if you got nice things to say nice things. If you don't have nice things to say, then, well, I guess say not nice things. No holding back.
All right. So now I have to.
Now you have to play name association. That's right.
Sorry, I was reading our love letters.
Yeah, they are trying very hard tonight.
Well, I mean, they've been trying hard. I mean, briefly before we get, they've been trying hard for a while. Again, I don't know any of these people. They obviously really don't like me. My advice to them would be to just leave us alone. Get
a life.
Yeah, we haven't bothered you in forever, and if we're as terrible as you say we are, then nobody would watch. Period.
All your comments and views do is help us. So thanks.
Yeah, let the video play through to the end. That helps the algorithms. Let it play through. In fact, I mean, you have all those different accounts. Have them all come in here at once and let them play all the way through to the end. Yeah. No, seriously though, just go home. Go home. we're done with you people. It's you do. Sorry that we offend you. Apologies. I'm sorry that I'm such a scumbag that you feel the need to waste all your time and come in here. But believe me when I say that I have, we've literally been joking about you guys coming back and doing this again. So just go back to your own community, have fun, and, do what you do. And we'll do what we'll do. And if we're going to rot, then we'll rot. If we don't, then cool.
All right, let's put this train back on its tracks. Name association. I'm going to say some names, and you just kind of tell us the first thoughts that come to mind for them. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Nick Push.
Amazing dude who creates really underrated content.
Matt Faggi.
Can I say the same thing? Am I allowed to do that?
I mean, you can, but it's going to eventually start sounding like you're copy and pasting answers. Bear with me a moment. I'm sure you see. Indeed.
Anyway, Fauci is great. Good family dude. Creates really good content and has one hell of a background on display too. So I definitely suggest everybody go check him out.
We kind of talked about Frank earlier, but the guys at the Slaughtered Lamb.
One of the best YouTube channels out there right now, period.
Jason Ward of Making Star Wars.
Really misunderstood. Yeah. Really misunderstood is how I would put it. And honestly, no one more accurate with Star Wars coverage. And again, a good family dude, despite what some might tell you. So,
All right. Jeremy Dove of the Too Old for This podcast.
Funny because I actually referenced him earlier. He has a vendetta against me, and a few others. But he handled his in a more mature way than the people in our chat right now. He's a guy.
He's a guy. All right.
I don't know any other way to put it. I don't want to be mean because that hatchet. I don't know if the hatchet was ever buried, but like that's in the past.
It's in the review. All right. Some happier names. Zach Arnold.
Zach is awesome. Zach's a professional, knows what he's doing. Very articulate about his craft, and a good friend. Who definitely needs to just take some downtime eventually, and he's earned it. The guy has one speed, and it's go go go, and he needs some downtime.
All right, I'm gonna slide.
And the IPC podcast, so check them out.
I'm gonna slide in the next name here myself. Ben Hart.
Who? Okay. Say what you want. The guy legitimately loves Star Wars, probably to a fault, and a genuinely good human being.
Dave McRae.
Incredibly talented, very down to earth individual. Have nothing but time for him, and we'll have more time with him again soon.
We watched a movie.
They're not my cup of tea. I'm just being honest, but just because the way that they do their content doesn't interest me, it's hard to argue with the community they've built over there and the following that they have, and they have that following for a reason. And obviously, they're exceptional content creators. So hats off to them in that regard.
All right, let's come in-house and do some of the members of the Fandom Empire team. Tommy B.
That guy should go fuck himself. No. Fucking internet connect. No, I'm kidding.
Are you supposed to fake a freeze when you say that?
He is the most loyal, incredible friend. He's a ton of fun on the channel when you really get under his skin and get him going. There's nobody better than Tommy B when you really get him going. So, he's just an incredible human being. Who I love in a completely platonic way.
Kieran.
Kieran's a good dude. Great family man. Brings the entertainment. It's always a good time with Kieran. And obviously for Rick and Morty fans, I think he's just going to have more in that regard for the channel the closer you get to a new season. So.
Mike Bish.
In my opinion, the most talented on-air person at Fandom Empire.
Matt Whitfield.
In my opinion, the most useless freak. No, I'm kidding. Matt, again, is as loyal as they come. And that's the other thing is the trolls. It's one thing when they come on the YouTube, but they go and message the other staff too and start trolling them and spamming them. And I know they bothered Matt too. Matt's a loyal, helpful, dedicated guy. Falls asleep in movie theaters though. Poor Mike Bish. But just a really good dude. Really good dude.
All right, save the best for last as far as the Fandom Empire team goes. Me.
You.
Yeah, me. Well, that's going to make the rest of this show pretty awkward, don't you think?
You talk too much at times.
Pot kettle.
I'm trying to get us off air last week, and I'm just like, oh my god, he knows I gotta go, and he just turned this into a longer conversation. Like, fuck. I need to pee, man.
That's called payback for the 2 years that I had to host Wastelands back in the day when you and Mondo used to do that to me every week.
Oh man. No, Johnny's really good at what he does. Great talker on air. Knows too much wrestling and needs to be more of a social butterfly. More social with the rest of the guys at the channel. I'm sure we'd love to hear more from you. So there's more days to the week than Tuesday, damn it. As you can see, today's Monday.
That's right, today's Monday. All right, next name's back off the channel. Jimmy Champagne.
I mean, excellent filmmaker. Don't necessarily agree with a bunch of his Halloween takes. But yeah.
Chris Siegel.
Useless sack of shit. I mean, we said we were going to be blunt, and that's about where I am with him. So,
okay.
There's more of a chance that you'll find me hanging out at a Tim Hortons with these trolls than you will with me and Chris Siegel. So,
okay. Wolfman's got nards.
Amazing content creator, great dude, tells it like it is. One of my favorite. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't have time to watch any YouTube channel consistently anymore. I just don't. But in terms of someone that I check in on quite frequently, he's one of them. Great dude.
Lee McCoy.
Amazing content creator, wonderful dude. He's been gracious with his time with us. I dig Lee, and I dig what he stands for, and I dig a lot of his takes. And I can't wait to have Lee back on the channel.
All right, we've given them a lot of airtime tonight, but one last time, the trolls.
They won't give a shit. They won't. But like, honestly, bravado aside, hosting aside, rivalry aside, I definitely never set out to piss anybody off or upset anyone, and obviously something really got under a couple of their skin, and maybe there's some fault on my part for that on a stream that I obviously don't remember. Honestly, my encouragement to them would be to just stop, go away. We're small time. Go bug someone bigger. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to make any leeway with me anymore. There's no rent-free space in my head for you. As you can tell by Johnny's question, this was a planned topic for tonight. Yeah, you guys have your little community. Stick with it. You want to make a bunch of pictures of mine and Kieran's faces with dicks on them, and whatever. I mean, personally, I don't think I'm all that much to look at personally, but I mean, these guys are clearly obsessed to some extent. So, but no, seriously, I mean, they're a group of people that like one another and have their own thing going. And that's great. And they just don't like us. And there's only two ways this is going to go. They're going to keep up and not get any attention. Or they're just going to go away like you did before, and you'll do it again. Because we just won't give you any attention. And again, with member chats being turned on this channel starting tomorrow, if we get a bunch of people signed up for members chat, we'll just member chat and find another way for other people to participate. We're not here to start any wars with anyone. Life's too short, people. I don't know why you guys came back and started bothering us again. You know, it is what it is. But, you know, I have nothing but the best wishes for each and every one of you. Anything else, Johnny?
Well, I guess just one more real question, and that's, take off the guest hat and put back on the producer hat. A metaphorical hat. Take off the guest hat and put on the metaphorical producer's hat. And what's next for this show?
Hang on. I'm going to address fake Dave McRae's question here, and this is the last time I'll address it tonight, and then I'll have you re-ask that. They say, Shawn, we dislike you because you lied about having sources. We didn't. People have sources. That's how this works. Does it mean they're always right? No, but thankfully ours has been more right than wrong. Lied about having a Halloween end script. No, also didn't lie about that. Did it mean it was accurate? Definitely not. You pocketed money from that non-existent fan film. No, all just a bunch of assumptions. Go away, go home. It's over, boys. Go find someone else to play with. Okay, Johnny, last question.
All right, last question again. Holy moly. Take off the guest hat, put on the producer hat. What's next for this show? Guests, one-on-one guests. We're gonna have a lot of people on here, and it'll be fun. Although, keep in mind, after this initial episode, the only way you'll be able to participate in the chat is if you're a Patreon subscriber. You'll be able to pre-submit questions, or if you become a channel member, which I don't know if we get to control how much that's worth. If it is, it'll be very insignificant. Think so.
If we do, it'll be very insignificant, and you guys will be able to participate that way, and it'll keep the trolls from bothering the chat. So it is what it is, but that's the way it needs to go sometimes.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking this journey with us. I hope you guys had fun listening to us, just chat about everything, really, from personal lives to fandoms to Halloween to wrestling and everything in between. Well, we hope you guys have enjoyed the Fandom Unlimited podcast, where we talk fandoms without limits. I hope you guys have had fun, and we'll see you next time with guest TBD.
TBD, indeed. TBD. You're not getting out of me yet. Next one might actually just be you and Jared. We'll see. I don't know. See you tomorrow night. Fandom Empire Live. Good night.